forgot to stream on YouTube. Yeah, I think it should be streaming now. My bad. Okay, yeah. So we've just started the AMA session. We've just been discussing Nishay's journey for folks on YouTube, and like Nishay has shared, like he started his computer programming journey after his first year. So like in his first year basically, and like we've just like we've been discussing how to practice. So I would also say that like I also used to practice in a similar way, that like give contest and absolve. So if you give a contest, you should definitely try and absolve it. But there was also a slightly different approach which I followed during my time, especially in the early like in the early months or years of my computer science practice. So I had this. So I wanted to learn new topics in graph theory, like graphs and DS was like one of the topics which excited me a lot. So I used to randomly sort problems in codeforces based on their difficulty, starting from the hardest problems. So I used to try and start looking at yeah, yeah. So I used to start looking at different ease of graph theory. Of course, like in the first couple of years, like especially in the like after the first 6 months. So after I know the very basics, of course, but like not like after 3 years. So like for example, in my early second year, I used to look at a lot of different ease on code forces, like which have the tags of graphs and trees. Now, of course, like I would not even be able to move the problem, or even like do the very basics. But like like what I used to do was I used to go and read the editorials and learn the theory which I don't know. For example, like in my early like in my early months of preparation, I learned like heavy light decomposition, persistent segment trees, or like biconnectivity in graphs, like centroid decomposition. So all these topics I learned by looking at the editorials of problems. So like I still remember like one of the first problems which I got accepted for like one of the first hard problems which I got accepted. I had to learn persistent segment trees, like blocker tree, which is a concept of biconnectivity in graphs, and like as well as heavy light decomposition. So it was basically a graph problem where so it was a mixture of three advanced topics, and I did not know any one of them. But that I spent almost a week on that problem, but I ended up learning three advanced topics because I thought that like looking at hard problems editorials can be a good way of exposing yourself to new topics or tricks that you don't know about. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think like both the approaches have their pros and cons. For example, like uh, like my teammates, for example, like who went with me to the ACM World Finals, like Rajas, Vedant, and so like these guys also followed an approach similar to yours, Nishay, which is that like they used to attempt problems which they can easily solve, and for a problem in which they had some idea, like they go and maybe were not able to solve during the contest. They want to go and try it after the contest, so that uh, yeah, I mean they can learn some new things. So yeah, I think like both the approaches can be interesting, like based on what suits you. For example, I think I am the kind of person who enjoyed learning more theory, and therefore it gave me time to like it helped me expand my knowledge base. Like knowing a lot of topics can also help you a lot during ICPC, because a lot of problems can be solved easily if you have seen similar problems before. So I mean that can be a helpful approach, but of course, like developing the ability to be able to solve it on the fly is a stronger is a stronger ability. So like the other approach is also, I think, like very important. Some is oh, 1 second. Is Nish's voice audible on audio now?
So you have to go on to OBS and increase the volume of your browser compared to your mic voice.
Like, can somebody confirm on YouTube that Nishchay and I are audible now? Like, Nishchay, can you say something on?
Just asking it right now.
Sure. And on Unacademy,
All right.
everybody confirm?
It's. I think I'm audible on YouTube as well. No?
Yeah. Again, like apologies, I think for the the technical glitch.
All right.
So which editors do you use? I used to use Vim during my competitive programming journey. I started
Really?
using like other editors very recently. After I joined like companies, I started using like Visual Studio, etc.
Right.
But during my whole competitive programming journey, I used to use Vim.
I went from the Hiker Rank IDE to Code Blocks, then to Visual Code Studio. So exactly the most simplest IDEs I could find.
Yeah, I think so. Like Vim has helped me like not worry about the platform where I'm going to give an on-site contest, because like every PC usually has Vim. So like,
whatever functionality Vim has, every PC does have that functionality as well.
Yeah, but I think nowadays like almost everywhere people support the basic editors like Sublime or others. So like don't worry about the editors. I think it should be okay. Okay, so like now that we have discussed, say, the basic coding strategies, like Nischay, like have you attempted any ICPC regionals so far, or like?
I have. Do you not know this? I have attempted the ICPC onlines in my second years. I didn't know about ICPC in my first year, but because of a bad day and not much team coordination, I couldn't qualify for regionals.
Okay.
In my second year.
Okay. And this year, I think the ICPC hasn't happened yet because you're still starting
it's not happened yet.
Yeah.
The onlines are not happened.
Yeah, so I'm sure like you will do great this time for ICPC regionals. So
I'm practicing for that.
Great. Yeah. So like maybe I can share some tips on how people can practice for ICPC.
One thing I want to know, like how to practice in teams, because generally I try to practice individually, and whenever we have a team contest, we just do individually your questions and not really interact much.
Yeah. So like I think this is what many people do, and like I don't support this approach a lot. I think ICPC is a team contest, and therefore we should be like very careful while practicing for ICPC, because it is a team contest. We should be practicing in teams. For example, like for myself, I used to participate in individual contests till second year, but like by the end of second year, like we were practicing seriously for ICPC. And even if you look at my codeforces contest, like I used to do a lot more team contests than individual contests. So like in my third year and fourth year, we used to do like 3-5 hour team contests a week. So like on codeforces gym or like on other like places, we used to practice, like we used to give like 2 or 3 5-hour team contest in a team, and we also used to simulate the setup where only one person can code at a time. So you have a single PC where you can code, and the other 2 people can only read the problems on their laptops and maybe use pen and paper to come up with solutions. So this kind of practice, I think, really helps you like for regionals and like and the world finals, because you only have one PC to code in ICPC, and it is very important to coordinate among the teammates, that while one person is like implementing a solution, the other 2 can spend time developing solutions to like other problems. So I think like that kind of a practice environment, it is like it has at least been very helpful for me in my practice journey. So for example, I think if you, and also like this is the first thing. I think the second thing is that you should be careful while choosing your teammates. For example, I would not want another version of myself in my team, because like that guy would not add a lot of value, right? So
I try to like I have chosen teammates based on whoever has the most knowledge right now, because I lack that kind of advanced concept knowledge. So just get that. So like at least we have someone who knows whatever question might come, like a rotating links or something like that.
So I think this is very important, and I've seen a lot of people make this mistake that people just sort by rating, like whoever is the whoever are the top three rated people in a college, they try to come together and make a team. But if all those top three people are strong in graphs and data structures and are weak in DP and maths, then your team is going to suck in ICPC. I mean, like this is very important. And like if I share my own journey, for example, like in my fourth year, we had to choose a third teammate because like when we went to the World Finals in my third year, our third teammate Shriram was a senior and he passed out of college. So while choosing the third teammate, like we knew of a guy Vedant who was good in maths and problem solving, but he did not participate in contests much. So like his like he was maybe blue or like he I mean he was not very highly rated on CodeForces or any of the other platforms, but he was really good with ad hoc problem solving and maths. So like we decided to go with him as our third teammate, and it helped us immensely during our practice sessions. Like we were able, like we were the first ones to get a few problems accepted even in hard contests like ASCs, because we had a very diverse set of
teams,
like people on our teams. So I think for anybody out there who's trying to prepare for ICPC, I would strongly suggest that like be like make sure that you distribute the topics among the teammates such that every person is expert in a few topics and has a working knowledge of other topics. Like I think such a distribution is very important. Yeah. Okay, so in terms of like platforms, Nischay, like which platform do you like the most for practicing? Like CodeChef, CodeForces, AdCoder. I think nowadays there are a lot of platforms.
Lots of platforms, right? I would say for practicing, right now I'm using CodeChef the most, right? Not because just like we are by CodeChef, right? I actually use CodeChef the most because they focus more on the algo DS part and the more theoretical part, I would say. The long challenges and the lunch times and the, what's the third contest? Cook-offs, right? These three have questions which are heavily focused on, theoretical, classical algorithms and classical data structures. Compared to CodeForces have more ad hoc kind of rounds, which I personally enjoy more, right? Participating in those type of contests is really fun, seeing who's kind of getting this interactive problem hacked or getting this done. But actually improving on your skill set more, I think you should do CodeChef. Yeah, there's a cook-off today as well, 9:30.
Yeah.
So I would be participating in that.
Nice. Yeah, I think I have a of course I have been out of practice for a few years now, but I think during my time I spent most of the time practicing on CodeForces, and I think especially CodeForces Gym.
Yeah, CodeForces Gym is really nice, but I haven't really tapped onto that resource right now. I'm doing CodeChef right now.
Yeah, I think anybody who wants to start practicing for ICPC specifically, giving a team contest on CodeForces Gym can be really helpful. So CodeForces Gym has this feature of creating groups. You can add like members of your team to the same group, and you can add contests to that group, and then you can basically keep attempting the contest one by one. So if I go to my my World Final practice group right now, I can see all the contests which I attempted, which questions I was able to solve, which questions I was not able to solve. So it can be really helpful to kind of also track the contests which you have given. So I think for anybody doing ICPC practice, CodeForces Gym I think would be a great resource. And they also have they keep updating the contests such that they have the previous year regional contests from other regions as well, like not only India. So for example, the European regions, the American regions, like any IPC, etc. So it's also very interesting to attempt those problem sets because they are also designed in ICPC kind of format, and you often get to learn the time management a lot. So there are some questions in the chat as well, like maybe we can start addressing some of them. So for example, I think one guy is asking what's the difference between IOI and ICPC topic wise.
I am not sure about IOI because I have not attempted it really. I just know that there are subtasks in question. You have actually coached in an IOI camp, right?
Yeah, so I have been a coach for the IOI, the Indian IOI team, so maybe I can try to take a stab at this. I haven't looked at the syllabus, the exact syllabus recently, but usually, like in general, IUI problems are more focused on constructive algorithms and like basically things that don't require a lot of theory, like for example DP or like more of constructive algorithms where you can come up with the like with the nice ideas yourself,
Like with the nice ideas
and implement it. And also the main difference in the format is that IUI is a single person contest, so every individual is gives the contest like by themselves. So unlike ICPC, which is a team contest, and also ICPC has a format where you need to attempt say 8 to 10 problems in a span of 5 hours, whereas in IUI you usually have 3 problems in a span of I think 5 hours. So the problems are also slightly harder. Like yeah, I mean I won't say they are harder than ICPC World Finals, but it's more like an ICPC contest would have a gradient of problems, whereas an IUI might have like a lesser gradient. Like an IUI might have less easier problems compared to ICPC. And also IUI is a 3-day contest, unlike ICPC, which is only a 1-day contest.
Oh, so you have 3 contests on 3 different days?
Yes. Yes.
Wouldn't that tax you out?
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, it is kind of taxing, but I think like it also gives you a chance to not have a bad day.
Right.
So, yeah, like maybe next question. I think Nischay, you are the best person to answer this. Like Neil is asking, does high level math is high level math required in CP?
Is high level math required in CP? I wouldn't say high level math is required in CP, like the kind of math I learned in college or stuff like that. Only the 11th, 12th kind of stuff, right? I would define high as a college math I learned, because that was a rather significant gap that I went from high school to college, right? That kind of maths isn't really required unless you go for really advanced CP, where sometimes they are required generating functions or stuff like that. Mainly generating functions is the kind of problems where I'm stuck at the most, because that requires some kind of maths. But before that, like 11, 12th level of maths, you can most probably work your way up with that kind of maths and CP.
Yeah, and again, I think these questions are really subjective in the sense that which level you are preparing for. So, for example, if you are preparing for regionals, then most likely yeah, I mean, like you might get a question on Mobius inversions.
ICPC topics can be really random, so they might give you
so,
high level maths as well.
I mean, it depends on what your problem set is considered as high level or not. But yeah, I think in general, if you want to say improve your rating on these platforms and keep practicing, I think what Nischay said summarizes it well.
So another question that I see is, what part of 11 12 JEE math helped you in CP? One part that helped me is like PNC, but it helped me really less in in all subset of questions. The questions that actually required PNC are comparatively less, right? So it doesn't help me that much, which can be easily seen, because JEE rank does not necessarily equate with your codeforces rating or your performance on ICPC. It does relate in some sort of like how much, logical mind you have. But compared to that, many people from Tier 3, Tier 2 colleges as well have really high ratings on codeforces and have gone to World Finals or regionals and performed well in regionals. So it doesn't really matter if you are not that good with JEE, but you can perform good in CP. Can I read the chat? Yeah, I can. Yes.
Okay, so maybe like you can take one more question, Nischay. How long would you recommend to try a problem before reading the editorial?
How long? Yeah, this problem I have answered a lot of times. So the standard answer that I go to is it varies. What I follow in my mind, maybe this is kind of wrong, you can answer, discuss based on that, but what I do follow is, as long as I cannot think of anything else, that time might be 5 seconds, or that time might be 5 days, right? As long as I cannot think anything more on that problem, as long as my mind is not completely shut, I try to think of that problem and try to discover any algorithm that I can find. And when that mind block does appear, I just go to the editorial immediately. Like most of the problems in this region, like solving faster, generally varies for like if I get algorithm in 1 hour, if or I might get completely like mind blocked in 1 hour, right? While I'm solving, but yeah, it might go for days as well, or just might be 5 seconds. That's what I kind of follow my rule of thumb is.
Yeah, I think I agree with this answer as well. That I think trying a problem means that you want to generate ideas on how you can approach it, and the moment you don't have more ideas, then probably it is a good time to look at the tutorial. Yeah, so we have some more questions. I think.
Let me look at the YouTube chat as well.
Yeah,
If there
yeah,
are any questions
yeah,
there.
yeah. Maybe you can take a look at the YouTube chat as well. Okay, so maybe till then, I can take a question. So, I think somebody asked that whether we should try to focus on solving the problems fast, or and versus solving hard problems. I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly, but I think in general, I've seen that there's a there are different types of. So some people are good at say implementing things, implementing hard problems, but maybe not so good at coming up with solutions for say constructive problems. And some people are the opposite. For example, they are very good at coming up with the solution on pen and paper, but if you ask them to go and code something, then they can take a lot of time, or write buggy code, or yeah, it depends on the practice of practice. So which one should be preferable, or which one
I
should,
think, yeah, in this one, my kind of approach, matlab, solving fast should be more preferable, unless you're targeting for ICPC and trying to get to ICPC World Finals. Most of the people try competitive programming to get into FANG kind of companies and to clear their interviews and coding tests. And in these kind of situations, it does require that you come up with solutions fast, and because there are like 1 or 2 hour of coding tests, right? And you have to clear that questions in that 1 or 2 hours. So yeah, I kind of started out with that in mind as well, that I have to clear coding tests. Then I have come to this level where I do not have to think about that. I am going to think about solving hard problems now. But when you're starting out, I think you should first think about cracking coding tests first.
yeah. I think yes. So I agree with with what you said as a general approach, but I personally have known people who say for example, my own ICPC teammate Rajas, he is an amazing problem solver. He has he used to come up with the solutions of problems amazingly well, but he was also extremely lazy. So for example, he
Right.
won't go and read up new topics, or code things fast, or focus too much on try to do a lot of coding. But I think even then, I mean, you will be able to land a good job or clear that interview, because I think if you have good problem solving skills, I think you would be good enough for any coding round. I think
Yeah. If you're really good with problem solving skills,
Yeah.
You can clear any coding round, you can clear any interview round. But if you do not get to that
Yeah.
level, then it becomes a kind of a problem, that which section you have followed in, the hard problems or the fast problems.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that in both the categories, if you are good, if you practice that skill and develop, be it solving problems fast, or be it becoming good at problem solving in general, I think you should be good for any coding round. So if you practice for ICPC regionals, I don't think you'll have to ever worry about clearing a company's coding interview.
Good test. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is also an interesting question. So, Nischay, what is your favorite topic in CP?
Favorite topic in CP? Uh, I have not really thought about this. I would say DP, because I really like solving DP problems in contests. And well, the best kind of problems that I like to solve in contests is interactive and constructive kind of problems. But I don't think that can be called it's a topic in CP. That's like just a topic in problem solving.
No, I think it is it's definitely a category. So I would.
It's definitely a category,
Yeah.
because whenever I see a problem is interactive, I'm definitely like, yeah, like I can solve this one. I'm really excited for interactive problems, because I think the level of mental exercise which is required there is very different from the kind of theoretical stuff you see, and like it really kind of exercises that. So I really like those kind of questions.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I think, like for me, I think my favorite topic would be graphs and trees. Like I think I've been very like enthusiastic in trying out different problems and learning more theory. Like I think I really enjoy the fact that you can visualize the graph algorithms a lot, and I think that that visualization is something which is very interesting for me. And like I've been I know a few different E problems which can be solved only by
Just
like
trying to visualize a graph and
yeah,
see what's
like all you need to know is say just DFS on trees. Like if you know how to visualize a DFS tree of a graph, like you can solve that Divani problem. So I think like I really enjoy that beauty that like if you are able to, if you are good at visualization like of these fundamental algorithms, like you can end up solving some pretty hard problems.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Like I think there's another interesting question. Like what is the story behind your username on CodeFaces?
What is the story behind when you username? Like Zeus or NM? Well, I'll start with
Both.
NM at first. So NM is basically I've put two E's in there randomly, but basically it boils down to N and M, which is my initials, Manwani. I generally try to use those in whatever types, whatever online handles I have, right? But the Zeus profile is a little more embarrassing. I was at a party at New Year last year, and basically one person had performed really good in our college in a Division 3 contest. He had solved all of the problems. His name is Zeus ITG. He's also my ICPC teammate right now. So I had my profile name as NM back then, but like everybody was typing out Zeus in chat, and I was kind of like, all right, I will put my handle as Zeus because it was around the time when profile names were changing. So I just put my handle as Zeus on a whim, and I have been regretting it ever since.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting story.
Right.
Okay. So like looking at some other questions.
When it's the right time to learn graphs advanced DS with respect to codeforces rating? I started at 1900, like properly starting reading graphs and stuff like that. But I think before that, around 1600 or 1700, it would be a good time. If you're just focusing on codeforces rating and you're not focusing on anything else, then 1700 or 1600 would be a good starting area to start with graphs. Yeah.
Yeah. So if if I answer that question, so again, it could be a biased.
You would start from the beginning, absolute beginning.
Like it could be a biased answer, but if I tell my story, like I have opened my codeforces rating graph right now for reference. So I was 1495, which is specialist. Like when I wrote my first blog on Bridge Tree, which I think became pretty famous as well on Quora, and of course, like I think in the next 3 contests I was on 1900. So like I was probably already at that level, but it was not reflected.
But you were just giving contest enough.
Like on my rating, but yeah, I think I had a few bad contests. But the point is that I think reading theory can keep going on in parallel to your contest rating, because like you can go from 1400 to maybe like 1900 or 2000 in 5 or 6 contests. So like don't think that only after you hit 1600 you will start reading theory, because that theory can also help you get there. I mean, even if you're able to solve one div2d problem because of the theory that you know, it can help you increase your rating by 300 or 250 like in a single contest. So like I would say that like keep your focus on learning and not on your rating. Like of course rating is a good indicator of your learning, but it is not a one-to-one mapping. Like you can keep doing your learning in parallel to like you're trying to improve your rating.
Nice.
Yeah. So is it necessary for all our teammates to live in the same hostel in college? No.
No.
ICPC does not have any requirements on hostels.
On hostels, yeah, it doesn't have any requirements on hostel. And if you're talking about like trying to practice together, we generally go to the computer center in our college. together, because we do live in different hostels and we go to there to practice whatever we want.
Yeah, and I think now like you might even want to practice online, COVID.
All right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Not.
like I think focus on practice and not on
Mhm.
where like who is living where.
Right.
Okay, so looking at some more questions. Yeah, I think like what are the advanced topics you used to set last few problems in ICPC regionals? I'm not sure. Like that is why I've been ignoring this question. I think Ayush has been asking this quite a few times. I haven't looked at the last few regionals, and I don't think I can tell you a few topics which will come in the next regionals. I don't think that is possible. So just focus on all the topics. Yeah.
In terms of ICPC questions, I can only remember the question that I choked at last year, which was on subset TP. So I can only recommend subset TP. Try and remember subset TP, because that was the question which did not allow us to get into regionals last year.
Yeah. And then we have some more questions. Can you share some of your contest experience? Like when was
You were just struck on some question, and how did you tackle that pressure? When I get just struck on some question, right? When I cannot think of any more thing. This actually happened in, I would say, the last second contest that I gave. Right? I had completed up until D1, and the logic of D1 and D2 was really similar. But there were some submissions on F as well, right? So I was trying to do D2, I couldn't do it. I saw F for just a split second. Now in retrospect, I should have seen it for a little more while and tried to think about that, because it was a really simple problem. It was just an angle sweep on a circle, and the problem was done, and it was like 3,000 points, so it was really valuable compared to the 600 points question I was doing, because I had already completed D1, so D2 was comparatively less points. Up until the end, D2 was really implementation heavy, so I couldn't do it because there were many bugs and stuff like that, and I couldn't even attempt F because I was just too stubborn on D2 and didn't even bother to try to read F, right? So whichever, during a contest session, if you do not see any submission, I would recommend to go and read each question once. And if you can see submissions, I would recommend to go to those problems which have high submissions, and try to read what's in that question right now.
Yeah, I think like so. I also have a similar story which I can recall. So I think yeah. So we were in our second year and we were in Kolkata regionals ICPC. Like when the contest started, I think in the middle we were in the top three. Like we were doing pretty good. Like we were I think also rank 1 for like a good amount of time. So there was this one brute force problem which I think almost everybody had solved, but we were not able to come up with a solution. And like we were able we were just kind of stuck on that problem, and it was really embarrassing. And like I mean we were thinking that okay like what are we missing? I mean we spent quite some time, but then instead of getting stuck on it, we decided to move on and focus on other problems. So there were two problems which I think like one problem I think we were the only ones to get accepted, and I think like another two problems which were hard problems, and only two people had gotten accepted, including us. So like we were able to solve some harder problems by not like worrying too much about the easier problem, and then we tried to come back to the brute force one, but like till the end we could not get accepted, and because of that like our rank was 4. The top 3 went to world finals, and this is in my second year. But like had we been stuck on the brute force problem, I think we would have been way down. So like I think like I would also like recommend people that it is very important to calibrate calibrate yourself to kind of start attempting problems based on the easiest ones and based on the submissions. But in case you are stuck, like don't think that because you are not able to solve the 4th problem, you will also not be able to solve the 5th, 6th or 7th problem. I mean, do read all the problems. I think that is a very good advice which Nischay said. For example, I think if he would have like looked at the F problem, like you would have probably solved it if you would have spent some time on that. So I think this is a good tip.
That's really a good story. Like
Yeah.
you were able to solve the other problems, but not the easy problem. But not but I want to add one more thing. Generally, when I actually do this, when I skip an easier problem to solve a harder problem, right? Because my mind was blocked on that problem because of thinking too much on it. When I actually come back to it, my mind is completely reset,
Yes.
and I can immediately see, oh my god, this was so simple.
Right.
Why couldn't I solve this? And then I could, like. It helps to reset your mind. Generally, if I know I cannot solve the other problems, I try to reset my mind by listening to music in between a contest. That actually helps. That also helps me in resetting my mind. But just going to the next problem also kind of helps in resetting your mind for the easier problem.
Nice. Yeah, I think like some of the questions are regarding like what are the some good sources for learning new topics. Like some people are asking whether we should like watch YouTube videos, like whether we should read any books. So yeah, like I can try to attempt this question later on, but maybe Nischay, you are doing CP more recently and maybe looking at these new resources more recently. Like what would you say?
So I have been generally looking at reading stuff because I'm not too much on video stuff. I know the majority of people prefer videos over reading because that helps them visualize more. But I kind of prefer reading, so I have like two books. One is the famous Competitive Programming 3 book by Steven Allen. One is the CP Handbook. These were the kind of resources that you might know as well from that time, right? And of course, Google. Whenever I cannot find a concept, I just Google that on. But in terms of video lectures, right? In terms of video lectures, I'm sure there are pretty good channels on YouTube as well. But yeah, like at an academy, we are also, like. Having too much courses. Not You should not go to courses directly. Try to look at the free live classes that we have right now. Right. Try to see if those classes really helps you get the information across and really helps you to learn these concepts that we're trying to teach in free live classes. And maybe then you can go to a more structured approach in the plus courses and the subscription that an academy give. Yes, Tanuj, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. So like it's been like quite a while since I was like it's been a few years, like not quite a while,
Mm.
but like during my time, I think I learned most of the topics by like by blogs or editorials of people online.
Yeah.
But I
Mm.
think like it is like I also spent a lot of time looking at hard problems. So basically,
Mm.
uh, I think like for me, I had to spend a lot of time looking at editorials of different East to even know that there exists something called say a blocker tree, or there exists something called like even to get to know a new topic.
Mm.
I mean, you need to find a place where you find a question, right? So I think,
Mm.
I mean, that is what like I did during my time. But like today, I would recommend that like at least on an academy, like I mean, the reason say that I have like gotten involved or I'm trying to contribute here is that
Mm.
like I want to condense that exposure of 4 or 5 years of practice into
Mm.
like small condensed sets like
Condensed
where
it, like 10 hours courses and stuff
yeah
like
yeah
that.
yeah
And just for the people complaining on YouTube, we're not just saying this because of publicity, right? We are actually putting effort in our courses. That's
exactly
because we want people to see this. I've
yeah
put really much effort on my number 3 course, and I think it's really good. I'm not sure about the geometry course, but yeah, number 3 course is really nice. And many people have talked to me like saying that it really helped them in
yeah
performing better,
so
right?
it is not like we are teaching something which is not available on other platforms. I'm sure you can find because like I also learned this from somewhere like
Mm.
of course like there are few like I mean there's one trick which I invented which like on which I'll be taking a lecture in 15 minutes, persistence centroid. But I think apart from that, most of the things like I learned by reading others blogs. So like there are definitely free courses available, but the value that we are trying to add here is to condense the exposure that we have into short courses so that like you don't need to try out 100 problems to even encounter the 6 different concepts which I'm telling you in a single course on square root decomposition, for example. Like so that is like my idea, and of course like I'm sure there are others who are trying to do a similar thing. I'm not saying
Mm.
that like this is the only place, But
Yeah, of course. Like the question says,
yeah,
Deepak says, like, why Googling skill is underrated. Yeah, Googling is the most important skill that you
exactly.
can
Yeah.
learn
I mean, like
in
if
any
you,
kind of
yeah.
area, not only
So
competitive
if
programming, but
you like, if you are at the level that you can look at a
mm,
content, judge whether
mm,
it is good or bad, and based on that
mm,
decide whether you need to spend your time on it or not, then
mm,
great.
mm,
But the point is that you cannot learn competitive programming only by watching videos. You also need to go
mm,
and code them up,
mm,
get the problems
mm.
accepted. So like,
I have repeatedly talked about this rule of thumb. I'm not sure if you follow this rule of thumb as well, but I'd say like 95% comes knowledge comes from the practice that you have,
exactly,
and the
exactly.
5% kind of reading, formal reading material or reading a
Exactly.
course or
So
something like
the more time I spend Googling for resources and the more time I spend watching videos on YouTube, the less
that.
time I will have to go back and try out the things myself and actually code and like
Hmm.
develop my own understanding. So
Hmm.
if you are at the level that you already know by looking at a blog, you can decide in a few seconds that whether it is worth your time or not, then great. Like it took me quite a while to come to that level.
Hmm.
Like initially the way I grew was by looking at hard problems
Hmm.
and then starting from there. So if I'm looking at a Divani problem, the
Hmm.
editorialist of that problem, of course, is somebody who knows the topic and
Hmm.
has explained it there. But in this
Hmm.
approach, like you really need to spend a lot of time looking at a diverse set of problems,
Hmm.
and you will build that knowledge over the span of a few years instead of maybe uh, like like a 5 lecture course or 6 lecture course which condenses that information and gives you the all the relevant links at a single place. So I think that is the value which I am trying to add here. uh,
Hmm.
like and yeah, so I think this like this would be a good summary. Like maybe we can move ahead. Like
Right.
yeah.
I just saw a question on YouTube. This is unrelated to the topic we are having here, but has it occurred to you that you have found an easier approach to a problem than what is actually required there, what the traditional approach of that problem is?
Yes, yes, I think definitely, and a lot of times. For example, I think like when I learned centroid decomposition, like
Hmm.
there were many problems which involved a lot of complex tricks on HLD, uh,
Hmm.
like to be able to solve, and I think I was able to solve them like in much
Yeah.
easier ways using centroid
Hmm.
because it is a fundamentally better structure for certain kind of problems, and these
Hmm.
things were not even say clear to the to the person who's preparing the
To the
problem.
person
And I think
who's
this has also happened with myself. So I have prepared problems where my
hmm.
solution was more complex than what people submitted.
Yeah, that happens a lot more because
So
when I do perform create the problems, I usually get the most number of testers to test out like, is this the best thing? Is there no better solution to this to
yeah,
check out if it's possible?
yeah.
Because recently I conducted a contest on CodeChef in which the ideal solution was to have a ternary search kind of thing. To test out if the solution exists or not. But what happened was because I was creating random sets, right? The people just checked for two values, the mean and the minimum plus one, mean plus one, and they just could, without even ternary searching, they could just from the L to R range, they were just taking out mean and they could find the answer. So
Oh,
that was embarrassing.
yeah. I
But
think this is like more about test case preparation and
right.
less about a better formal solution.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think like these cases also happen all the time.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. Right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
How can CP help me with game dev? I don't think CP can help you much in development.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
hmm.
Yeah, like maybe I'll let you finish first.
No, no, no. I'm not that much into development myself. I just know, like, from the experience I have, I tend to use any kind of CP knowledge I had on the development side. I think only in like kind of large scale apps or large scale websites that I would create at some time maybe. Then I would require some algorithms or data structure knowledge. But right now, I don't think I
Yeah,
require
I
any.
think like the way I look at it is that
Hmm.
I mean the experience that you gain
Hmm.
like doing CP. So I mean the programming experience that you gain while doing CP. So I mean the ability to look at a code and understand it quickly, the ability
Hmm.
to kind of like parse complex logics and implement them efficiently. I think these are the things which you take away into the development world, and these are things which can be really helpful, because anywhere you go, if you have to write a program, and you can look at the code and identify that, oh, like there's a better way to implement the same thing, or there's a there's a more easier and a better and more efficient way to do the same thing. Like that kind of mindset, I think, really helps you in other places. For example, in game dev, or maybe in other software development places. But like if you ask me whether you will be implementing Dijkstra in software development, probably not. I mean, like most of the algorithms which you learn here won't be directly applicable, but I think the soft skills which you develop about like implementing the code fast and like implementing correct code.
And truly understanding what is happening behind the scenes of the code that you are writing, right? Because that is especially what interviewers want to know, like do you understand what is happening behind the back? Because in I studied what is that concept called, development design, I think that's the name of it. System design, I think, in which they ask you, like, if you have to build this large kind of app or large kind of site, which database would you use, which algorithm should you use, and that kind of enables the interviewer to test out if you know much about algorithms or data structures or not.
Right. So I think like there's also another interesting question which I would like to ask you, Nischay, first. So do you focus on college as well? Like how do you balance your ICPC life and your college life? And
I focus on college enough. I wouldn't say I'm totally into college. Like some people are, I know that are so hardworking that they can focus on getting a 9.5 plus CPI as well, and performing very good in CP as well, right? But I don't think I'm that level of hardworking. I focus more of my time on CP and trying to maintain an 8 plus CPI, so that I do not get banned out of any CPI criteria that I face. But I can continue working on my CP as well. But that actually got me cut out from one of the companies in my intern session, which was Squad. They had a high CPI requirement. So I did get cut out from one company. But yeah, it was only one company out of the 10 slot 1 companies.
Right. Yeah, CPI is, I think, the CGPA.
The CGPA that you get in college, or the grade you get in college.
Yeah, so I think like for myself, I think I have an interesting story which I can recall. So in my first semester, I did not I was not much into computer programming. I also started after I got in my second semester. And in my first semester, I think my CGPA was, I think, more than 9, like 9 point something. And in my second semester, I was fully focused on computer programming. I used to sleep in the classes, code in the night and stuff. And my CGPA dropped to 7 point something. And, and I was like, okay, I need to do something to balance both of them.
I need to do something to balance both of them.
So yeah, I think
the people who are in college right now would experience this much more, because the online semester has been really, really taxing compared to the offline semesters that we had before. So it's much harder to balance these two. But hopefully that will get better in the next semester, as colleges understand that they can't just keep putting loads on.
Yeah, but I think I also sometimes think that it might have been interesting if I had some of my classes online during my time, because I had to do a lot of effort to in my second semester to sleep in the class. I used to take a pillow in my bag and put it on the table, and then put my head on that to try and sleep. And I think things would have been much easier if my sessions were online, so I can just start on.
In this online session, I don't think I have, actually sat in any one of the classes. But the problem is the assignments and the quizzes. And you might think, I used to said, online with the cheating chalti hai. that is not the only solution, because these quizzes, the professors are not dumb. They know that online semester would have cheating, so they do create quizzes that are really void of cheating, and they create assignments that you just cannot copy paste from anywhere, and they just keep like putting pressure on you throughout the semester.
No, yeah, I think I think what I said was definitely a joke. Like it was not a serious thing. I think like definitely.
No. I'm not telling a joke. I bunk my classes all of the time.
No, but yeah. I think the bad part is that if you are forced to attend a class, like you might at least you would at least like hear the terms, like you would at least grasp something from what is happening. Like if you don't attend any
some
class,
classes I would not bunk, because I know I am going to learn something from that class. Sitting like the algorithms course, our professor Arinklu was really good in teaching algorithms, right? So I would always attend that no matter what. But yeah, some classes there is just no arguing that you do not learn from any trying to go there.
Yep. Nice. So like maybe do we have some last questions that we? When are we going to see Manwani sir to be a legendary GrandMaster on CodeForces?
I'm not sure if I can stay IGM right now, so I wouldn't say about LGM.
But yeah, I'm also really rooting for you. Like all the best.
Thank you.
And I think it would be really cool to see a LGM from India.
Yeah, it would be really cool. But like the last 3 contests I had, like in the last contest that I had, which actually got me the All India rank 1 that I wanted, was actually I didn't. I had after actually performing in the contest, there is a gap for the system test to start running, and I was 70% sure that at least 2 of my submissions are going to get system test failed, right? Because I was not sure on the last 2 problems if my time complexity was correct. I just implemented something that I felt was pretty efficient, and in the first 2 problems, it was implementation heavy, so I was not sure if I missed the case or not, right? So it was really lucky that all of my submissions got actually passed, and I got to be able to reach there. But I don't think that is sustainable in long term. No worries. I think like all the best. Like all the best to you. I think for your like ICPC journey and and rest of the competitive running career. Like I think it's really great to see like people doing well from India, and I hope you do very well in this time regionals and maybe also in the world finals. Thank you.
Like since we have only a couple of minutes left before the next class, maybe we can end this session and like take a couple of minutes back to join the other like division classes.
To join the other sessions, yeah. So the next session, you are taking a next session as well, right?
Yeah.
On?
Like I'm taking the next session on persistent centroid decomposition.
Right.
So this is a trick, this is a trick which I kind of came up with, and I created a Div 1E problem on this. So I hope people have something to learn from this.
All right. So yeah, see you in the next class, and
okay, bye everybody. It was great interacting with you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time, and bye. Have a good day, everyone. See you. Bye.